met him when he was first at the FDA, so it was a long time ago. He was very young. He's still very young, but he was really young.
I first met Scott when he became commissioner at FDA, and his reputation preceded him as someone who was incredibly brilliant and driven.
And I think key to Scott's work throughout his career, and I've seen it since the early days in government all the way through his tenure as commissioner, he has never lost that commitment to get his arms all the way around the issue.
It's his passion, his dedication, his drive towards getting things done, towards making a difference.
I think Scott is driven by a deep belief in public service and putting what's best for patients first.
At the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, Scott Gottlieb knew who he worked for. He worked for patients.
You know, one more example of Scott's willingness to roll up sleeves and go do what needs to be done was the leadership he showed in the agency's response to the hurricane in Puerto Rico.
We're tracking it and we're getting information and we're getting inputs, and then we start hearing reports of the drugs being stuck on the island because of transportation.
So to prevent shortages and to get Puerto Rico back up and running, he was actually one of the first leaders on the ground to implement some response steps.
I mean, there's no playbook for that at that moment, and he just mobilized and called people and figured out what we needed to do to make that all happen. It was a remarkable moment.
Well, first of all, we can't forget that Scott came in as a patient, as a cancer survivor. One can never forget that experience.
People knew that Scott was a cancer survivor, though he hadn't spoken about it publicly until the Chasing Cancer event.
Can you tell us, before we wrap up, a little bit about your experience dealing with cancer? You were 33 and deputy commissioner at the FDA, and what happened?
I found the kind of lesion on myself that only a hypochondriac physician would have found. It was very early stage. It was stage 1A, Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was a tough 6 months of chemo. I did most of it while I was still working at the FDA. But I think the hardest part for me wasn't the physical aspects of the treatment, but the uncertainty.
I think in sharing that experience, he showed other patients that they had a real champion in the FDA commissioner.
The man met the moment, and Scott Gottlieb was the perfect person to come into the FDA at the perfect time to make an enormous difference in the lives of millions of Americans.
I mean, this is the job he was born for.
You know, some people say, well, wouldn't it have been better if Scott was there for longer? You know what, I will take every day that we had with him because he made every day count.
He's not done with public service. We won't let him finish public service.
Congratulations, Scott. Thank you for all you've done for patients.
Congratulations, Scott, on receiving this award. Well done and well deserved.
I cannot think of a better person to receive this award from the likes of Ellen Siegel and Marlene Malik.
Congratulations, boss, on the Cancer Leadership Award. I saw you earn it every single day.
Scott, thank you for your commitment to public health. Congratulations on all you've accomplished. You've made a huge difference in the lives of Americans, and you're still young, so I have higher expectations for the future.